Well, hello, welcome to another adventure. We are just coming into Bury St Edmunds. So Bury St Edmunds is a cathedral town, lovely cathedral town, really nice place to come and have a look round. It is not the county town of Suffolk, it's the second town of Suffolk, so it's in West Suffolk. Ipswich is the county town. Bury St Edmunds is definitely the gem. And so it's a cathedral town, has a cathedral, has an abbey. It also is famous for brewing, so coming up ahead is the Green King Brewery, which is right in the middle of town. So there's the brewery, and it is also famous for the sugar factory, so the sugar factory just on the A14. Yeah, it is a lovely place. We're just riding through the centre of town on our way to Krazy Horse. Just going to pop in, have a quick look round. I think every decent adventure should start at a bike shop or near one anyway. You can see the cathedral here, it's beautiful. I mean, I'm from Suffolk and I love Suffolk. It is such a beautiful place. Yeah, so this is the middle of town, it's lovely. So there's the old abbey there, the old abbey gate. You go through those gates there into the abbey garden. It's wonderful. So Bury in Bury St Edmunds means fortification or castle or wall. It's an old sort of Norse Germanic word. That's its derivative anyway, and St Edmund comes from King Edmund of East Anglia. He became a martyr because he was killed by the Vikings, and then latterly became a saint, hence Bury St Edmunds. Thank you, ladies. Yeah, worth the trip into, if I can remember how to get in there, down here, we go. I've not been for a few months. Okay, yeah, here we are. Bikes galore. Right, this in here then. Yeah, busy. Didn't think it'd be this busy. Right, so had a quick look around Krazy Horse. Amazing place. I mean, look at some of these bikes. Just look at, what is this? Caballero. I mean, that is gorgeous. Yeah, nice. Quite a few people here today. Anyway, on with the adventure. Yeah, so today we're going to do the Peddars Way. Peddars Way is a nice trail that starts in a little village called Brettenham, which is east of Thetford. So we're going to pick up the trail there and then essentially ride north all the way to the Norfolk coast. Now, it's not Peddars Way all the way. We do pop onto another trail, the name of which escapes me at one point, and once we get a bit further north, I'm not going to go the whole way on the Peddars Way because just for time it will take a while, because quite a lot of it is off-road. But we're just going to take a couple of shortcuts just to keep it simple and easy, but still a lot of it will be off-road. and it's very nice in places. You've just got to be really careful because it's not all byway or a boat or a minor road. So just be really careful. I will put some information in the description below, some links to various sites and a document that I've been using, and also I'm going to put out a GPX file, so hopefully you can just upload the route that I've done. Essentially you just need to get yourself to Brettenham and then take it from there. Okay, so we're just coming into Brettenham now. I'm going to stop in a second when I get the chance, just so I can start to record the GPX route. Just pull over here, it's got a place, isn't it? In the shade. So what I've got a Garmin watch, and on my watch I can ask it to record my route as well. Essentially it's as if I'm riding a push bike, is what this is designed for, but it's obviously going to work as well for on the bike. So I've now got, you can see my watch is saying it's ready, so I've now got a fix. It's picked up GPS link, so it's connecting with a satellite and it's now recording my route. Crucially what it's doing as well is it is sending a message once I click on the next bit to my wife, so she knows where I am at all times. Crucially, I didn't switch that on until after I'd been to Krazy Horse. So there's my first top tip of the day. But get back to it. Yeah, so on here I can go onto this live track, and I'm going to switch that on now just so that my wife knows where I am and what I'm up to. So it's saying there it's started, and the live track on there started. I'm just going to record it on the old sat nav as well. Record route. So now that's recording. The sat nav I'm only really using just for the road sections, and then my phone I'm using an app on there for the guidance. So I'm going to go back to the OS map app now, so you can see this is where I am at the minute, and this is where the Peddars Way starts, which is just round the corner there. So let's head over there. Wow, what a lovely church. The Adventure Bike Rider magazine pushed out a green laning guide and a Britain's best road route guides, and East Anglia barely featured in it. In fact, I don't think it did get a mention. Right, so that's my Australian helper there on the TomTom. So we're just in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop and change the mode. So I've got a rider mode set up for off-road, which turns off the traction control. As you can see on my dash here, it's now saying traction control is off. So it adjusts the ABS braking as well. There's less ABS to the rear brake and front, but crucially you don't want traction control off really when you're off-road. You don't want the traction control on. So if you look on the map for this first point, the map will actually want to take you across that field over there, but they've obviously put in a diversion which goes around the edge of the field. So if you look on, it wants to go diagonally across that field there, but in fact the route follows along this trail and then along that wood line there, over by where the farmer is. So but this is definitely the start of it, and there's even a sign here, look, that says permissive byway. So we're going down here. So conditions today should be great. I mean, it might be a little dusty. You can see the tractor there is throwing up a bit of dust, but shouldn't be too much mud around, and so it should be fairly easy going. and it's not too technical, the Peddars Way. The bits I have done, I've not done all of it, but I've done a fair bit of it. It's not too technical. You should get away with 80-20 tyres on a lot of it. Yeah, this is glorious. Perfect day for it. Hopefully not going to see too much traffic out on the trail, foot bike or otherwise. I mean, this is what adventure bikes are made for, isn't it? Brilliant. Buzzards are out this morning. So it is a little sandy on this part of the trail, but it's not too bad at all. It's nice, easy going though. The kids out on the bikes love to see it. Yeah, it can be tricky picking your way through, but it is a lot of fun. I guess that's because it's, you know, pretty good surface. Ah, yeah, it's beautiful. Who wouldn't want to come and do this, eh? Yeah, this is nice. Nice trail. It's a little bit rutty. You've just got to be careful on the big bikes. Take your time. You know, you're pinging along it at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I mean, especially if you're on your own. Last thing you want to do is just have a silly little off that turns into a major nightmare. Yeah, so the first section from Brettenham heads up to the A11, and then we cross over the A11 down to the railway crossing, which is called Shadwell crossing. When I came up here a bit back, the tunnel was flooded, so I'm imagining today it'll probably still will be, and we'll have to go over the crossing, which is a bit of a pain. Hey, dead rabbit and a shitload of flies. So I'm going to stop in a second and vent, because I am roasting. I'll get up here in the shade in the woods. More bikers. Yeah, so this is good. It's a nice trail. Just enough to keep it interesting, but not so technical that you've got to go sort of full on with the tyres and the gear and everything else. Yeah, love it. Right, well, I've got the chance. I'm just going to quickly talk about my bike and my setup. Someone from my last video perhaps suggested I should mention this, so cheers for that, Sean. First thing I'm going to start with, which I think is the crucial thing with adventure bikes, is the tyres. I have been riding these now, I reckon I must have put getting on for 1,000 miles on them, so they're the Dunlop Trail Max Missions. And as you can see, I mean, that's fairly aggressive tread. And that's front, and then that's the rear. Yeah, so it is fairly deep tread compared to your average 80-20 tyre. You know, there's a fair amount of tread there. Yeah, so Dunlop Trail Max Missions, and I really like them. I think for an average rider like me, or who's doing average rides, I'm not going to be doing anything aggressive. Don't plan on doing any rally motos or anything like that at the minute. Yeah, they're a perfect tyre because they're amazing on the road. The grip levels are going to outlast my skill level, so there's more than enough grip for the road. People are claiming to get about 8,000 miles out of them, which I think is pretty good. Great tyre. And for this sort of stuff, you know, you can see, I mean, this is fairly solid ground. It does get fairly sandy in places, but generally it's pretty easy going trails like this. I've noticed when they start to get a little sketchy is not in the deep mud, but in that sort of slimy surface mud that you get straight after a downpour, because the knobbles, because the tread pattern is quite flat. It's not a small block. It doesn't cut through the mud down to the harder stuff as well as some of the other tyres. But for most people on an adventure bike, for the type of riding they do, these are going to be perfect. It means you're not going to need a second set of wheels or swapping tyres all the time. Great set of tyres. So the other crucial bits of kit I've got, I would say, being this app. So this is the Ordnance Survey OS map app. So I'm running iOS. It's about £25 a year for the app. But crucially, you can load routes into it. Put my teeth in, so you can see this red line is the line that I've loaded in, and then you can see the byway that it's following here as it crosses the A11, then over Shadwell crossing and so on. Yeah, so it's a great app. You can zoom in, zoom out to as much or as little detail as you want. You can also change it to, so let me just quickly do this. I can change it so I'm on a map, but I can also go aerial map. So if you want to see like a Google Earth view of where you are, you get that as well. And it follows where you are. So by clicking on this, it takes me straight to where I am, and it will give me a grid reference. If I can just quickly do it while I'm holding the camera, you can imagine it's pretty tricky. You can click on it though, and it'll tell you where you are. So you can give a grid reference to someone in an emergency. I'm going back to premium topo. So it's a great little app. I normally have it spun around the other way, but I've got it in landscape mode today just because I'm using my drone. Just makes it easier. So that's another great bit kit for doing these sort of trail rides. And then otherwise, I'm just wearing regular sort of adventure kit with a decent set of boots, and I've also got my my top box, and that's got a few emergency supplies in it. Crucially, some tyre weld in case I get a puncture, but a few other spanners and a few other basics. Now the other thing that I'm absolutely loving are these gloves. They're an Oxford glove, and I cannot remember the name of them, but obviously that's what they look like. They're about 50 quid, and crucially these are touchscreen compatible, and they're really, really good on both gloves. I think it's finger and thumb. So they're probably just a bit heavy for this time of year. They are a summer glove, but off-road I'd prefer something a bit lighter. But I can't find anything that's a decent off-road glove that's light and is touchscreen compatible. So answers on a postcard to that one if you've got something that's working for you. So that's me, that's the bike, that's the setup. It's just, I've not let any air out the tyres, just standard pressures, not fiddle with the suspension on the recommended clicks from the manual with the suspension. And yeah, all good stuff. Yes, I think for most of this you'll be fine on an 8 to 20 tyre. But in places it does get a little sandy. It's good fun though, actually. It's worth the trip. Oh, it's lovely in the wood here. Nice and cool and lush and green. Yeah, so I do think you've got to be, in fact here we go, there's a walker here. I was just going to say, you know, you've got to be conscious when you're on these sorts of trails, because there are people out with their dogs and that, and kids on bikes, and I've got a guy with his dog. Stay out of his way. Thanks. Yeah, nice pointer. Okay, so we're just coming up to the A11 now, so this a little tricky, just got to be careful. We cross the A11 and then down to Shadwell train crossing. Australian friend helping but not helping. Yeah, so there's a telephone here that you have to make a call to the controller and just let them know you want to cross the track, and he'll tell you when you're good to go. As I say, the tunnel was flooded. Yeah, it still is, I can see it is, so I'm just going to go here and see if I can get across. Hello, yeah, this is a motorcyclist at the Shadwell crossing. I'd like to cross, please. No more than 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll call you back. Thank you.
After 80 yards, turn
All right. Leave it in gear. Okay. £1,000 penalty. Best close the gate. Hello there, it's the motorcyclist at Shadwell. I'm clear of the crossing and gates are closed. Alright, thank you, have a nice day. Okay, onwards. So straight on now, it's a very straight section this. It's quite nice though. Yeah, so I would say this first couple of sections that we've done, the bit from Brettenham to the A11, and then the A11 across the Shadwell crossing, and then this bit now, it's fairly easy, steady going actually. So if you're looking to come and do something that's just a little taster, you're fairly close to Thetford, then this would be a nice little starting point, especially if you're on 80/20 tyres. Just take your time. Don't be fearful of it, just maintain your momentum on these sections. Look ahead, look where you want to go, not where you are. Look up the trail, so plan early and relax. Soon get arm pump if you stiffen up, so just relax and enjoy it. Steer through your feet, and if you're tired, just stop, take a break, have a brew, enjoy the countryside, because it is wonderful around here. Just careful crossing the road here. Yeah, it's very rare I use first gear. I'm generally in second or higher, and so traction control's off, so I'll give it some beans, it's going to spin up, and if I slip the clutch, it'll get to that point much quicker, and it'll just spin up and then eventually bite. It takes some practice getting that right, feathering your clutch. I mean, that's from my motocross days, so especially when you ride two strokes. I also got a trail rider coming up here the other way now. Hope you've seen me. Yeah. Hey up. And these tricky sections I might go down to first, so I've just quickly gone down into first and I'm just using clutch control. Okay, that's it. So we're back onto the main road. I think this is called Sedgeford. Stonebridge. I'm lying like a cheap naffy watch. Stonebridge. So that's the end of that sort of second section and we're in Stonebridge now. Now we've got a bit of a long trek up through Watton before we find the next bit. So we're in Watton. This is one of the sort of diversions from the Peddars Way route that I've taken, just to speed it up a bit, because it's going to take me most of the day to get there, I reckon. It's not a bad little town, Watton, actually. I used to come here a fair bit a few years ago in my military days. Was it the Bull Pub? I don't remember. There is a Triumph dealership down here, so if you are having a bit of a drama out on trail, might be a good place to pop in. Probably just a good place to pop in anyway. You're not in a rush. Go and have a browse. Yeah, what have we got in the window? Anything nice? Yeah, oh yeah. Some nice bikes. Well, despite what adventure bike riders say, there are some lovely bike roads out here in Norfolk and East Anglia in general, Suffolk. Just beautiful. Just nice, quiet roads, perfect for adventure bikes. Not a lot of traffic, plenty of green spaces. Tend to be really good road surfaces. What's not to like about this? I mean, this is gorgeous. So this next little section, it's only a short section, and you might say it's probably hardly worth it, but there's a road closed ahead today, so I'm definitely going to take it in case it means we miss the diversion. Unsuitable for motor vehicles, apparently. Huh. So I'm going to leave it in road mode for this. It's fairly simple. On the other side. Oh, it's nice to be in the shade. It's getting warm. It's getting towards midday and it's heating up. Okay. See a red kite there. Where's that going? You'll probably find with my videos I keep stopping to look at birds. I am a bit of a twitcher.
At the end of the road, turn left.
Oh, I've lost it. Okay, short but sweet, that section. So we're in the little village of Newton now. This is a nice and interesting section, this next bit. So we're just coming up to Newton Mill. And this is a cracker.
Then, turn right.
Oh, look at this, beautiful. It's not too shabby there, is it? So we're going up this way. can get a bit greasy along here when we've had some rain, but it should be nice and dry today. Might be the odd puddle. Nothing that the jet wash is going to worry about. Certainly these Dunlops are more than capable on this sort of terrain. It's the bit that connects the back wheel to the throttle that is going to cause problems. So there's that sort of greasy mud that they don't like. This is nice steady going though. Again, you'd probably be alright on 80/20 tyres down here if you were going to come and do it, and that's what you've got. Just take it easy and come on a nice day, and you know it's not going to be too wet. And just steady, pick steady and pick your way through. Okay, so that's another short but sweet section. So back there, you could go back there where I've just come from over there. You could go up that way, but we're not going to do that section just to save time. Okay, map check and then onwards. So we're now at West Lexham. So that's a lovely section from Newton to West Lexham. It's a lovely stretch actually. And then you could take it more further up the Peddars Way, but we're going to sort of take the road section here just to save a bit of time. Right. Let's go. Yeah, it's all been very pleasant so far today. I did stop a bit back and just have a quick sip of coffee. I bought a flask with me and a banana, a few other bits, so I just had a bit of a break. I did pass where were we? Nectarn. In Nectarn I passed a Costco. Passed a Costa, so but I'd got a coffee and I thought I'll keep going. But so I've seen fuel stations at Watton so far, and then another one in Nectarn and a Costa in Nectarn, so there's plenty of places to stop on the way. Right, so here we go, back off road again, back on the Peddars Way. Yeah, it's quite flinty around here, so I'm just avoiding the big bits of flint. I mean, but it's impossible to avoid it totally because the track's made up of flint, so but it can be quite sharp flint. Oh wow, yeah, this is gorgeous, lovely. So this is what I came for. Stuff like this, just nice trails in the countryside, fairly simple, easy going, love it. So this goes all the way now into Fring. There's a walker ahead, let's cross over, get on the other side. Hey up! Yeah, so we're on this all the way to Fring. A nice bit of byway. It's fairly steady going, the odd little bomb hole you've got to look out for. But it is just lovely. There's a sign here. What does this sign say? Please take care, Sandringham. Hello. Okay, across the road. Good to go. So last section on this bit into Fring. Oh, what wonderful countryside. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. Yeah, I was trying to avoid these ruts. It can be tricky because 1 minute you want to be in the middle, 1 minute you want to be over to the left and right. So you've really got to keep looking up the track to spot early the best line. Okay, so we're almost in Fring now. Oh, that's nice to be in the shade. Right, so we're back on the road now. So someone asked me about this in the Tiger group. So I think from here on in, this is where we skirt round Sedgeford. Yeah, so this is the tricky bit where the Peddars Way from here on in isn't legal by bike, which is down there. And the cycle route's off to the left, which goes to show you if you can't cycle down it, you definitely can't motorbike down it. So yeah, so we're gonna skirt round Sedgeford and then pick up the trail again in a bit. This is Sedgeford. Yeah, I'm going left here. Yeah, so we're nearly there now. Taking a right onto the next bit of trail in a sec. Once this maniac's finished doing what he's doing ahead of us. This bit's a bit rocky. Yeah, so this route, you haven't obviously got to do all of it. You haven't got to do the whole bit of the Peddars Way. You know, you can just do the bit that you want to do. Cut out some of the less interesting bits. Mix it up as you go along. But it's a super place to come for some simple off-road riding. You know, and you're going to end up with a seaside, bag of chips, ice cream at the end of it. You know, what's not to love about that? Straight down. Okay. That's a map check. Right then, left. So we're straight up here. Yeah, it's been a real good challenge actually. It's the first time I've done a sort of long off-road trip like this. Certainly on an adventure bike. It makes you really concentrate on these sections. So it is quite tiring, but it's not overly difficult. So you know, if you're fairly new to adventure bikes and you've not done a lot of off-road, maybe this is one you could give a go. There it is, there's the sea. Brilliant. Sight of sore eyes. Straight on here. What's going on here? Ain't no party like a byway party. Right kids, we couldn't get into a campsite, so we're going on the byway. Big B. Woohoo! Right, that is it. We're there. We're there. Oh, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So now to find a bit of beach. I suppose the obvious thing to do is straight over and then head down there to the seafront. Must be something down that way. Well, that's been really lovely. It is fairly simple, not too taxing like I keep saying, but it is enough to keep you entertained and keep you sort of occupied and keep you on your toes. It's not just flat and boring and dull. I know when you think of East Anglia you don't think of great mountains, you know, uphill, down dale, but I've loved that. I would certainly thoroughly recommend it to anyone.